Today, I'm going to take this piece of 3/16 inch 1085 flat stock and forge out a clip point blade. It's going to be for a raffle coming up this weekend for local American Legion post that I'm part of. And I donate a knife each year to the fundraiser. It's something I can do to try to help out. But so that's what I'm going to be doing today. Go ahead and get it on in there and fire. And I'll be back to you as soon as it's warmed up. Got a piece of steel, got plenty of heat in it. I'm going to start shaping it out. If I can keep hold of it. Back in the heat. What I'm going to do is basically condense it in and draw it out. I'm going to try to have this video up tomorrow, so it'll be a couple days before the raffle. Next week I'll actually be forging out a fireplace set for a friend of mine that's getting married, and so I'll be doing video of that as well, getting it uploaded next week. But this will be for this one. I know y'all have seen me forge out a clip point probably a dozen or more times, but this is something that it's important to me to be able to get back in and do what I can to help out. This helps raise funds for our post, and we use it to help other veterans and buy the flags and stuff like that and all for the holidays and for the city. And funds also are used to help veterans in need. Sometimes when veterans come through and they're stranded and all, our post is able to help them out because we were able to raise funds through things like this. There'll also be a raffle for a first prize is going to be a Henry turkey gun, and then this is going to be the second prize. Now this started off as 2 inch by 3/16. Probably going to take it down about, probably about 1.5 inches. Looking to do about a 6-inch blade, and then I don't know. This time I may do something a little bit more traditional. I may end up doing like a hidden tang with a crown antler. Instead of the way I normally do them, I'll do about a 3/4 length tang, and I'll actually channel out the antler and set it down into it to where you only see part of it on the spine, like I did the last knife. We'll see how she turns out. blade length and all. We've been working on fixing up some stuff around the house and everything and all. We're actually working on purchasing it through the VA loan, using VA loan, and so that's been taking up a lot of time and stuff. I hadn't had a whole lot of time to get out here, of course, but after we get closed on it next month, I'll actually be able to have more time to come out here and work on some things. Me and JD have we're looking at actually to get our treadle hammers built. We started cutting materials for the base and the stands and the handles and all that. And then we're going to work on some ribbon burner forges. And then we're also going to build a small smelting furnace. We got a lot of stuff planned that's going to allow us to do more. And then we're going to see what all we can get into. We're probably going to end up doing a lot more stuff for reenactments. Since him and his family are already into it, and it kind of got me interested in doing the stuff, and it's enjoyable. And while I'm at it, I can also, do blacksmith demonstrations and stuff for it, and help share what I've learned and get more people interested in it. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right at 5 right there on the length. So I'll go ahead and start forging in a clip out there on the end, and then I'll come back and see what I need to finish out length on the blade. We've also, we're going to be getting our metal lathe up. It's a 1957 Clausen engine lathe, and we'll actually be using it also while we're in the process of restoring it. We'll use it, repair and upgrade some stuff on it, and then continue using it. But it'll allow us to do a lot more stuff, and we're looking forward to that. Later on, we'll turn this doing some projects on it, and we'll hope to be able to show you some of those. One of which will actually have to do with this 5-inch piece of 416 stainless that is right at 18 inches long. We're going to make a fun little project out of that. And we'll see if we end up showing it or not. Get our ribbon burners, our ribbon burner forges, forced air ribbon burner forges built and all. I'm probably going to take the burner that's been on my little forge that I've been using, actually use it and incorporate into the furnace that we're going to build for smelting. We're actually looking at taking an old beer keg, since the stainless steel casting, refractory cement and all in it, and making a nice permanent smelting furnace. And setting it up on its own tank. that way we'll set it up on a system where we can actually wheel it up in and out of the forge as we need it, and use it outside of the forge. We're looking forward to getting, finally getting to work on these things and getting them going and making progress, doing some upgrades, and really looking forward to enjoying the projects we've got coming up and sharing them with you. I'm also going to be doing some projects with some of these. These are used farrier's rasp. I'm going to be nailing them up and making some pretty traditional style stuff out of those. The fold over tomahawks right out of rasp, things like that. Some patch type knives, things. Video I made the angle too steep. When I went to go draw it back out, it didn't work out quite as nicely as I would have. So I'm going to attempt that again, see if I can't do better this time and give you a better example of how that brings that clip up. Longer angle. When I push this out with the bevel starting back here working that way, it'll hopefully bring that up better. See what I can do to clean up the back for the shape of the blade a little bit more before I actually start on that. Making me some nicer tongs. bevel. Starting to bring it up some. May show a little bit better as I continue to work in the bevel. We'll see. See how that brought that tip up, gave us that nice little sweep. Nice little sweep there. Brought it on up just by forging the bevel in. Makes a difference on how long you leave that, you make that initial taper on the top, drop on the top where it looks more like a broke back sax, leaning towards a, almost like a worn cliff, but not quite, kind of a cross between that and a sheep's foot. You get a nice long angle, and as you forge in the bevel, it'll create that belly and bring that point back up. There. Now, that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all the way back to here. 6 right to here at the shoulder. So what I'll do is I'll come back just a little bit more, and I'll start upsetting those two in to draw out the hidden tank. But that's where I started getting bevel. I still need to straighten it up a little bit. That's a pretty good start, and then I'll also bring in a little distal taper in there. I know some of these videos may seem long and pointless, but showing the actual whole process and stuff without all the editing and everything on really helps those that want to see and learn from it. And even those that don't want to watch and see and all, they can skip through and still catch most of the gist of it. Straighten out, still a little off down there at the point, but it'll get there. Now, it's giving you that nice traditional shape for a clip point. Get a little bit more heat back in there. Shouldn't take long at all. Doesn't take long. And this. Getting a little straighter. Make sure that point's centered along the spine. A little bit off when you hold the blade edge down right now. It kicks over to the right just a little bit. It's alright, won't take much to fix that. The more stuff you get right in the rough forging when you go to quench and then clean it up, the faster it'll go. Straight, won't take much to clean that up. So now I'll flip it on around and start, like I said, work on the shoulders and getting dropped into the tang. Here I can look over inside the forge and see how it's heating up. there so I know where the blade edge will stop. I'll come in and mark it in just a second once I get that back end tapered down a little bit more. Make sure I'm still recording. Hey, 27 minutes in and I've got pretty good progress on the blade. I don't think that's too bad. Alright, we'll come out here, go just past where that blade's supposed to end. Grinder. I'm going to cut off the excess metal. Bear with me for the minute for that. That. Get it back in there to get the back end heated up. Get the hot piece of steel off the floor. Get it down there in my crushed oyster shell. So I don't have to worry about it catching anything that it shouldn't. Profile that blade a little bit so that it doesn't look so short and stubby. I'm just going to do a simple steel, well, I don't know. I may end up doing a brass guard on it. Got a nice piece of crown antler picked out that'll go for the wanted to, since you forged the blade and all, you could always cut in the shoulders and stuff like that. Just remember when you're cutting in a hidden tang and all, you want the transition from into the tang to kind of roll a little bit. You don't want to be sharp edges, because sharp edges are going to create stress risers where you're just looking for something to break. So you don't want it to be a super sharp transition. Just of forging that in. I'll bring you back after I've got it done, when I'm closer to having it finished. I'll see you then. Alright. Go. Making some progress on the tang. Only file knife that I've done. And then I've done one through tang, and that was on a mini sax that I did back in 2019. Back up in here and clean all this up for the transition. You gotta get the bolster in. Right now I'm just trying to get the basic layout done. Straightening things up. And everything else will be, after I get everything straightened up, pretty much do everything else on the grinder as far as cleaning up. And then I'll go and I'll drill out stag antler and which piece of metal I'm going to use grass are still for the garden. Back in and clean up the belly and blade edge. most part, it's good and straight. There's a little bit of stuff that can be easily cleaned up in the grinder. Heat it up now, and then get it in for a quench. Straight. Good hardened blade. Lock that in place to cool down. Alright, I will come back after she's cooled down and I'll start to clean her up. what I've done here is cleaned it up enough where I'll be able to see the temper colors in it. And then after I temper it, I'll put a new belt on, come in, clean it up, and then run through the grits. Alright, but there's the rough profile. I'll come back in and clean up the clip and all that and all. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and hog off a little bit of that now. I'll go get it tempered, and then I'll come back and start cleaning up the rest of it and grinding in the bevels, and then I'll actually be able to file in the choil right here. But ought to end up being a pretty good knife. See you after a while.